All right, we will call the Green Bay Sex Offender Residency Board to meet. Roll call.
I captured attendance.
If I can get a motion to approve the agenda for the July 19th, 2023 meeting.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 If we can get a motion to approve the minutes from the June 21st, 2023 meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay. All right. Regular business, the first appeal is of Paul Theobald. That's you?
Yes.
Okay. Please come forward. Okay, Mr. Theobald, you're requesting to move.
Oh, hold on, my civic clerk's not working.
Oh, okay.
Just give me a second here.
Oh, sure, you can sit. You can sit down.
Okay, we should be all set now.
Okay. So you're requesting to reside at 1576 Kennedy Drive, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. And this is your first time appearing before us?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna ask you to explain what you were arrested for, how the police got involved. But when you do that, we don't want you to list the victim by name or relationship,
Great.
okay? So go ahead and tell us what happened.
My girlfriend's daughter. And she was 14 at the time. And she would come into the bedroom or the TV that my girlfriend and I would watch, and she would lay on the bed and watch TV with me. And through the course of several months, we started hugging each other and touching each other, and it just got to the point where she said something to her mother, and her mother called an anonymous hotline. And they contacted the police. And they came and arrested me for second-degree sexual assault of a child.
And all you did was just hug and touch? Like what kind of touching did you do?
I touched her vagina over her underwear and her breasts, just right on the skin.
And how old were you?
I was 42.
And when the police got there to ask you about this, did you confess to it? Did you take it to trial? What happened?
I was arrested at the house 2 years later after the initial incident and went to jail, went to court, took a plea deal and pleaded no contest. Got 1 year probation and, or no, I got 1 year in the county jail and 10 years probation. In the course of my probation, I violated some of my rules and was revoked and went to prison.
And what were those rule violations?
I left the state without permission to help my wife at her chalet. And I had contact with my girlfriend's daughter when her car broke down, my girlfriend's car broke down, and I went to pick them up. So, and there was one other thing, and it doesn't click in my mind, but it was, there were 6 things altogether, but the 3 that they revoked me for were the contact with the victim and leaving the state without permission. And I just can't think of what else it was.
And when you left the state without permission, did they have to extradite you back or did you
No,
come back and?
I came back, and then when I went in for my lie detector test, I told them about it.
Okay,
And then instead of the lie detector test, they put me in jail, and then they went through the revocation process.
okay. And that was, all of this was through Outagamie County, correct?
Yes.
Captain Brester, can you do you have access to the Outagamie records?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I read the criminal complaint. Um, there's a little bit more to it. This actually happened in the basement of the residence where the suspect was touching the young lady in the vagina area and breast area. And then he unzipped his pants and the young lady was, according to mother, her quote was giving him a hand job. Mom actually walked in on this. She came home from work early, went in the basement looking for Paul and walked in on this. And that is why she ended up calling it into the sexual assault center.
Okay, thank you. Did that happen?
No, that's not what happened. That was a separate case and that one was dismissed. Then I was charged again after that. For the second offense.
The case I just showed you, Miss Michael, that was the only case that was given to me. So if there's an additional case, it was never sent to me
Okay,
unless I missed.
no, that's okay. Did you, so
Okay.
did you have two cases out of Outagamie, but you were only convicted of one? You were
Yeah.
charged two separate occasions, one dismissed and one
One
you
was
were
dismissed,
convicted?
yes, and when I checked on CCAP, the first one was not there,
Okay,
just the second one.
all right. Does anyone have questions regarding the offense?
Down here.
So why do you think you did that?
I was very selfish at the time. And to me, I wasn't doing anything wrong because she wasn't objecting to it. I can see now that I was wrong. And it bothers me every single day. Everything I do, no matter where I go, I always feel someone is gonna know. And they're gonna come up to me and start a problem or something. It's kept me from going to social events, weddings, funerals. I'm just totally ashamed of what I've done. And it's very difficult for me to talk about it still. And it's been since 2012, 2010, 2006.
And on this application that you completed, did you complete that form? This form here?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and so when we ask you in here, how do you feel this sexual crime affected your victim? You know, you said you were told by your SOT teacher. What the answer kind of is, but how do you feel right now, how you think that victim feels?
When I brought it up into the group with Tor Atkins, he told me that I could not make an assumption of how she felt about it without actually talking to her about it, which I wasn't allowed to do. He told me that whatever I did to her affected her in some way throughout her life. To be perfectly honest, I don't know how it affected her. I do know that while I was in jail, she started dating another sex offender who had just gotten out of prison and wound up getting pregnant with him. And I brought that up with Tor in group, and he said that was what I did was a factor in what she did. And me, I think it was the main reason. And I can't take it back. She said she forgave me. And I told that to Tor too. He said, they can forgive, but what is the real background of that? And I said, they never forget. They can forgive, but they never forget.
When did she tell you that she forgave you?
About 6 years ago, maybe 5 years ago.
And, would you have still been on probation at that time?
No,
No, so you were off probation and
Yeah.
did she just reach out to you? How did that happen?
her mother died,
Okay,
and we went to her memorial service. That's when she told me.
okay.
That was in 2019, almost 4 years ago.
Okay.
You live in Appleton, but your house started on fire, and this is your wife, but she lives here in Green Bay, is that?
Yeah. It is a complicated story, but I can sum it up in just a few statements. I was buying the house in Appleton on a land contract for my brother-in-law and my sister. She died, my sister died. And he was the one I had to deal with. In the 8 years I paid for the house on land contract, he never told me I was responsible for the insurance and the taxes. After the fire, we had a disagreement and I yelled at him. He wrote to me in an email, he'd see me in court, and then he sued me for breach of contract for not paying the insurance and the taxes. We wound up having to pay $70,000 to keep the house, which we could not get up. So I had to sign off on the house and give it back to him. It was a 10-year land contract. I paid for that house for 8 years.
And in the letter here from your wife, she makes a statement that she says, you know, I have no problems with him living here with me while his home in Appleton is being repaired. And then goes on to say he will make his new address here with your permission. So is this a temporary thing that you're only gonna live with her until you rebuild after this fire, or?
I
what?
don't have the house anymore.
Okay,
I had to give it back to my brother.
oh, okay, so,
So I lost all my equity in that house, everything.
okay, so this moving in with your wife on the Kennedy Drive is not gonna be a temporary thing, this is gonna be probably. Or,
Yes,
okay,
we would have done that in the first place, but I already had my residency set up in Appleton. And had been approved to live there. So I would come up and stay with her a few days a week, and then I would go back to Appleton for a few days.
okay,
Up until the fire, and then I didn't have any place else to go when I came up here, and then the first thing we did was to get started on applying for residency.
how long have you been up here then? I mean, because if your fire was last June, how long have you been staying here in Green Bay?
Almost a year.
And then how come it took you until, well, last month was the first time we were notified that you were going to come before us?
Because I called the SORP hotline. Because I have to check in every week if I was homeless. And they said, as long as you have an address that we can contact you at, you don't have to call us every week. And I said, well, I still need to get the residency set up in Green Bay to live there. But in order to get the information that I needed, I had to contact all the people through probation. And they would not give me the information that I was requesting. It took me 5 months to get a hold of Tor Atkins to get a certificate from him that I graduated his class. And I don't know if he's retired or if he is just that busy. Once I got that, then I went in and got all of my criminal record. And I got everything I needed together to fill out the forms, and then I had what I needed to apply. It's not that I was trying to get away with anything here. It just took me that long to get the information I needed.
Did you ever think about applying and then just asking maybe for some time to be able to get those? I mean, because in reality, your wife could have been cited for having you live there.
Yes, but it said on the form that I filled out that my appeal would not be heard if I didn't have those documents. It would be ignored or rejected. And I couldn't take that chance of being rejected unless I had everything to come before you and state my case.
Anybody have any other questions?
No.
Okay. The next thing, we'd like to talk about is your treatment. And you do have the right to, discuss that in closed session, or we would remain in public session. What would you prefer?
I can do it either way.
Okay,
Public
well,
is
we'll
fine.
remain in public session then. So, you indicated that you, did treatment with Tor. How long ago did you do your treatment with him?
back in 2007, or I think 2008.
Graduated 2000.
Yes,
And do you remember how often you went?
every week, every Wednesday night, I think 5 p.m. at the Oneida Police Department,
Okay. And how long did you go and see him for?
18 months.
18 months? Okay. And tell us what you learned from that class.
I learned a lot about myself and about society. The thing I learned about myself was that I'm not the person I thought I was. And I don't want to ever be that person again. Group taught me, be aware of my surroundings. Watch out for red flags. Stay away from things that are dangerous, people that are dangerous. Follow the rules. And don't be antisocial. Thor had me make up a sex offender cycle, where I had to talk from the beginning to the end of what I did. And I believe it was 16 pages long. He said that I did such a good job on it. He was going to use that in the class to show other people what the cycle is all about. I can tell you from experience with Tor, he is a very smart man. And he knew what he was teaching. And I listened and I took notes and I followed everything he said. And I felt sorry for the people in his group who just used anger against him because they didn't want to talk about what they had done. And I said, it doesn't matter how much you deny it. We're all here for the same reason. We all committed a sexual offense. And you have to be honest about it. You can't, say I was drunk, I didn't know what I was doing, or I was high, I didn't know what I was doing. We were the adults. We were the ones who were supposed to say, no, stop, not do it. I didn't know that. And if I did know it, I didn't want to know it. But after I went through the group with Tor, I followed those guidelines every single day. And my wife helped me, the people at the church helped me.
Any questions about his treatment?
None there.
Okay. Do you still work?
No, I'm retired.
Okay,
I do odd jobs now and then. Cutting grass or trimming trees. I work out at my brother's house in Oshkosh.
you have children, grandchildren?
I have. Not counting her children, I have 4 of my own. They are all single except for my son, Tom. And he has 3 children,
You see grandchildren?
not as often as I would like.
Do they live in the area?
Appleton,
Okay.
Greenfield, actually.
And so is it your son's choice not to have them see you or what?
Well-
Why not?
He works at night. One child lives with the grandparents. It's up north someplace, I don't remember where. And his other daughter lives with his ex-girlfriend's parents, so he only sees them on the weekend when he's not working. And he doesn't have the time to drive to Green Bay for us to see the grandkids. I think Lily is going to be 7 pretty soon. And I haven't even seen her that many times. So.
Does the board have any questions they'd like to ask? Do you have anyone that wants to speak on your behalf?
Just my wife.
Do you want to say anything, ma'am?
Should I come up?
Yes, you should come up here and then you just need to state your name and address for the record, please.
Ready? Well, my name is Lois Welty Thibault. I am divorced from my husband. I've he was gambling and we just split up because he was using all my money, but that has nothing to do with that. Anyway, I met Paul. He had little cards for handyman. And I was really in need of a handyman, and I don't know, somebody gave me the card. And I called him and he came, and he could just seem to do anything. He could fix cars, he could do anything with the yard, he could figure out anything inside, outside the house. And so he worked with me a lot. And after a while, because he was there so much and we were so close, and I fed him, of course, when he was there. And we just became, you know, like very close. And he said to me, do you want to get married? And I said, well, I don't know, I'm older than you are. And he said, well, that doesn't make a difference. And I said, well, he said, I don't think we should be close like this without being married. And so I said, well, okay, no, why don't we talk about getting married then? And so we did, and we were married. And so we've been married since 2015. And he certainly has been a solution to all my problems. Not that that's the only reason why I'm with him, but he has solved a lot of problems that I was alone. And anyway, I had gone on the internet and well, I just didn't like anything that any of these people said. You know, they wanted me to go to Florida all winter, and you know, I'm retired, they were retired, and I said, I can't do that. I have this ski chalet and I have to be there 2 or 3 times a week. In fact, that's how I got him in trouble, I guess. Because he came up one time when it was a desperate situation. I had a big group coming in. It slept 24 and no one to change the linen or pick up the dirty linen or make the beds. And he said, I'll go with you. And I said, well, you better call your whoever you have to call. And he did. And they said, they're not here. You know, they didn't answer. And so I said, you can't go, Paul. And he said, well, what are you going to do? I said, I don't know. So anyway, he went and he shouldn't have. And that's what caused the problem. So anyway, I don't know. He's a good man. He's a very moral man. And everyone that meets him, my family knows all about it. All my friends, all the people at church, and they just all accept him. He is so good to everybody. He helps everybody. He stops on the road and helps people that are, you know, someone who having car trouble, and he helps fix it for them. And I just, I don't know what else to say.
Did he tell you about his offense
yeah.
before you got married?
Yeah, oh, he told me right the first day. He said, you know, and he told me all about it. And I said, well, that's in the past. So anyway, but I mean, a lot of men are on the computer, you know, doing sexual things with the internet, and he's a good man. He goes to church with me, and he's good to all my children, all his children. He does everything he can. All the people at church are just, they like him really well. He has a wonderful sense of humor, and he caught up in something that he shouldn't have. And so anyway, yeah.
Thank you. Do any of you have questions for her? Okay. Thank you. You can go ahead and seat that there. Does anyone want to have discussion before maybe we render a motion?
I'm leaning towards approval. Done what he had to do as far as the treatment. And it was a while ago, they behaved themselves since, so.
I kind of feel the same way. Typically, I don't like to approve people who are that are not from our county, just because it's very difficult for our own Brown County residents to find housing. But your situation, I feel, is a little bit more unique. And, I wouldn't have an issue with it either. So,
I don't have any concerns about reoffending, so I'm okay with the applicant.
does anyone want to make a motion?
Move to approve, address specific.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 All right, sir, you're approved to reside at the 76 Kennedy Drive. If you do decide to move from that location, you do have to come back before us. Okay,
Thank you.
all right,
Thank you all.
yep. Okay, next on our agenda is Leotis Matson. Okay, could we get a motion?
Move to deny.
Okay,
Second.
All right, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the appeal of Michael Bethke. Yep, please come forward. Hi. You've been here a couple times before us. It's been quite a while since
Yeah.
you've been here.
Mm.
The last time you were here was back in 2015, correct? Okay. Does the board, anyone on the board want him to go over his offense? Or were the notes in the packet sufficient for you?
Sufficient enough for me. Same here.
Alec, Dominic?
I'd like to go over it.
Okay. Michael, so, we'd like you to go over your offense, what you were, arrested for and convicted of. And again, when you talk about that offense, please don't name the victim by the name or the relationship. Okay?
My 5-year-old niece,
No relationship.
5-year-old girl.
Yep, okay.
And I followed her, I was helping my sister in the bathroom, getting her ready for church. And I dried her off, I touched her vagina and stuff like that. Wasn't supposed to do it because I'm not being the parent and stuff. So that's what I got charged for. And, I don't know why it happened, it just happened, I was under a lot of pressure and stuff, doing stuff for my sister and her band and stuff. And I don't know. Like I said, I had a lot of pressure that day. It just wasn't thinking.
And how did the police get involved?
They went to the school and they talked to her, whatever, I guess, and my sister. And then they found out what I did and stuff, so, and I got arrested. Went to prison for 10 years. And I've been out almost 10 years, September 20th, I'm off paper. I learned a lot from my what I did. Stuff, and I listened to Andrew Warner ministry every morning now ever since I got out of prison. I even started when I was in prison. I watch him every morning at 9 o'clock and he really helped me through my day and stuff. Taught me a lot of things. A lot of people understand that God put us on this earth. Each one of us, he gave us a God-given purpose before we even entered our mother's womb. And I did not know all of that, and I'm learning all this, and I'm going by it, and makes a lot of sense to me. And most of us don't. We do a lot of thinking, right? Most of the thinking comes from a lot of people don't understand that. I do now. And I just stay away from children, and I have a shop. That's why I'm here. I have some pictures that I can show if you want me to show them to you.
Of your shop?
Yeah,
Oh, that's not necessary.
because that's the location where I'm at.
Okay,
So,
yeah, I appreciate that, but You didn't have to
It's
do that.
just, you know,
Okay,
so, that's where I'm at right now, and I wanna be out there, it's a nice location. There's no, lot of houses around it, it's like, about 1,000 yards away or better. There's a quick trip, a supper club. And I'm just on the left, on the right side, and that's all on the left side. It's up on Hummer Road, and, the landlord really likes me, his wife like, I work with her every Monday morning, they have a supper club that they hold weddings, at the dance hall. I go there every morning to help her set up chairs and clean it and stuff, and she pays me $10 an hour for helping. So they're really proud of me, and I'm changing my life and stuff. They really like what I'm doing, and I'm getting back in society and stuff. I work on a lot of snow blowers and lawnmowers and stuff like that. I've been doing it since I was 10 years old, and I just enjoy it, makes me feel good about myself,
sure.
so that's what I do.
Okay. Alec, are you okay with that? With his description of the offense?
Yeah, if Captain Brester could confirm that that's the story he has too.
I guess before I comment, so the story I'm getting from the subject now is that he touched her vagina when he got her out of the shower or bathroom while he was drying her off, correct?
Yes.
That's not what's in the criminal complaint.
Okay, can you tell us what the criminal complaint said?
This happened on a farm, and he took the young lady to a shop that was in one of the barns. This happened several times, and he digitally penetrated her with his finger, and then also performed oral sex on her vaginal area several times. During the interview, when he was interviewed by the detectives, he admitted to blowing on her belly button and then licking her vagina just a little bit in order to show her what a child molester would look like to protect her from child molesters in the future, is what the statement referred to.
They got them. That ain't what happened. It was in the shop she was with me. She ended up getting something in her vagina from rust or something. I tried to get it out with my finger. That's all I did. Did other stuff with the lick, and they didn't do it. That's not right. I don't know where they got that from.
Okay, but when we first asked you about it, you said that it happened when you were taking her out of a bath, right?
That was one time, and it was in the shop when I was working on my sister's van.
Okay, so you had more than just one incident
Yeah,
with
with-
the girl. Okay. Okay. And let's see, so you served 10 years in prison for that, you're on 10 years extended supervision. You get off of probation September 20th of this year. Have you had any violations since you've been on probation? Have you
No.
been revoked, sent to jail?
I went to jail one time when I was working at Manna for Life. I got accused of touching one girl at Manna, but it wasn't what they said. It was- She had some dirt on her pant leg and I wiped it off. And I guess she got upset. I didn't realize that. She's kind of handicapped, I guess. But then they put me in jail, 44 days up in Dora County. When they arrested me, they crushed my wrist with the handcuffs and pulled my shoulder out of joint. And I spent 44 days like that suffering up there. And I still have the pain yet today. I have no use for this arm. But that's what happened. That's the only time I got arrested when I haven't been up.
So have you been living at the 1176 Harvey Street since 2015?
Yes,
Are you currently there right now?
no, I'm not.
No,
I moved out.
Sorry.
Because I had some incidents there, two people stealing from me. Then there was a lady that moved in with some kids in front, and I felt uncomfortable. All she did was cuss at those kids. I got sick of hearing, I'm upstairs, you're downstairs, I could hear them through the floor. She just constantly cussed those kids out. And I just couldn't hack it anymore. I just wanna be around it.
When
Cause
did
I
you
thought
move?
maybe she accused me of something with her kids or something.
When did you move?
I think it was June 1st,
Of this year?
yes.
Okay.
I just had to get out of it. I just felt uncomfortable. I told my PO and stuff that too, and I just didn't want to be around that, you know, that kind of atmosphere, you know, so. I mean, all the other neighbors were really good to me there. I had no trouble with none of the other neighbors. Always fixed their lawnmowers and did stuff for them, cut their grass and stuff. I never had no trouble. That was the only time I had trouble.
Okay.
So that's why I moved out. And I like where I'm at now at the shop. It's nice, it's fenced in. There's no houses, there's nobody to bother me, you know, and I feel comfortable out there. I can relax. I had 2 heart attacks already because of being there at Harvey Street because of her situation. Putting the pressure on me about stuff and I just couldn't hack it anymore.
Right.
That's why I want to move out there and I'm gonna stay out there.
Sure. Does anyone have any other questions? Would anyone like to talk about his treatment?
Well, I have another question. So in your application, there's the question that says, how do you feel that this crime affected your victim? And you said, not sure, no contact. Do you want to try to expand on that answer?
What's that?
So he's asking you on the application, it says, how do you feel the sexual crime affected your victim? And you said, I'm not sure because there's no contact, but we're asking,
I'm sure it affected her.
like, how do you think?
Being a 5-year-old girl, I'm sure, you know, she confided in me because she always woke up by my sister's house. I want to see Uncle Mike. I want to see Uncle Mike. When are we going out there? And I kind of ruined that relationship between the two of us. And that really hurt me. After what I did, I finally woke up and it wasn't the right thing to do. And I see Pablo, he's my participator. I just went to group today. I'm doing pretty good there, I figure. I'm trying to get all my lessons and stuff that he's doing. I get help with my, I have a, what do you call? I forget what you call him. He goes with me, he's
The sponsor,
well, it's like a sponsor, he's my
chauffeur, or
Chaperone.
Chaperone, yeah, he's like a chaperone. So I travel with him a lot. He's a retired veteran. His name is Dave Brown. And he, you know, I was homeless for a whole year. He let me live in his house. I just helped him with the cleaning and stuff until I found the house on Harvey Street.
so when you go in public, do you have to have a chaperone? Is that part of your rules?
Not necessarily, depends where I go, like if I go to the big stores, which I don't like, I go to Fleet Farm and like parts stores where I get my material for my lawnmowers and stuff.
Yep.
That's mainly where I go, like a mall and stuff, I haven't been in a mall in years. I don't go to none of that stuff. I did a while back when it first got out because of my glasses, I had to go to this one mall. Bay Park Square one where they had it, but I don't go there anymore. I go to Shop Optimal over there on GV now. They have a thing over there. That's where I go. So I don't go into the big public places. I really seldom go to a restaurant once in a great while. Dave will ask me if he wants to go for breakfast or something like that, and I go with him, but other than that, I haven't been. Like I say, Quick Trip got chicken and they got food and stuff up there. I just go up there and get it. So I don't have to travel much. Just go to see my PO and when I pick up parts. All I do.
Okay.
Like I say, I watch Andrew every morning. I mean, he really helps me out on everything of respect of life, what we're supposed to be here for. And I realize that now. I mean, my parents were pretty religious too, but I just didn't click like I should have. You know, I was kind of the black sheep of the family. I come up from a family of 19 of us. So there's a lot of siblings, and I and my mom, we were really close.
Okay.
My mom always invited into me, I always help you and stuff.
All right, does anyone have any other questions they would like to ask them?
I hear.
Yeah, I do. Are you working somewhere? Is this your?
Just the shop, that's all I work.
Okay.
I'm on disability. It's
You
just
don't-
like a hobby shop, it's just to keep me busy.
You don't volunteer at Manuk for Life anymore? or-
No, not no more.
Okay, thank you.
But I go there like to get lunch and stuff, they give out lunch and
Mhm.
stuff, I get stuff there. But Chad and Linda, they were really good to me, I mean, they helped me out a lot too. I think I came a long ways from what I did in life and since I've been out, I think I'm doing a good job. Like I say, I feel good about myself now, that I got this place and I feel good and I get what I get done and that's what I do. I just had people, before I came, two want to buy a ride lawnmower. I said I had a meeting I had to go to. So I'll probably get them sold tomorrow.
I noticed you're wearing a wedding ring. Are you married?
I was almost married, but she backed out of it. She got mad at me because I took her across my knee and I spanked her because she got spunky. Because I was driving a tow truck at the time, picking up a car. I just got back from delivering one car and then I got a call on the way back. She was working at Hardee's and she wanted me to pick her up because she just had her hair done. And she got to walk home in the rain. She got mad at me because her perm got messed up and it was a little spat in between. But
Okay, thank you.
she got mad and threw it in and I just kept mine.
Okay, does anyone wanna have any discussion, before we talk about making a motion?
I have some concerns about the honesty factor here. He's been approved before. And he hasn't caused any problems. For quite a while, so, but I am concerned about the level of honesty.
I was gonna say I have concerns about some omission in your testimony tonight. And then, yes, it's a secluded property, but it's adjacent, the backyard is adjacent to a very wooded trail network. I just don't feel comfortable on this one.
Yeah, Michael, I mean, I understand you've been, let's see, it's been a couple different times that you've been before us and, you know, you have been approved, to reside here in the city and now, you know, you moved further out, you know.
Yeah, it's in the Green Bay area.
Yeah, but you're
I
not, you're
think
not,
it's a nice location.
Yeah.
Even the lady that changed my bracelet from Madison, she said she thought it was an ideal place
Mhm,
because of the location and stuff.
sure.
It was
Sure.
really good for me.
And you don't have neighbors like you did when you were living on Harvey Street.
And I didn't really like it in Green Bay either because there were some black people across the street, they were in the drug, and the whole street was all drug. And that's another reason why I wanted to get there, because I don't drink, I don't drug.
Yeah,
I and medication don't get along, my system won't handle it. I'm
yeah,
a diabetic, I'm number 2 diabetic, so I gotta watch that.
okay,
So I just,
yeah,
like I say, I just feel comfortable here, you know,
okay.
You know, I wonder what testimony was given at those previous hearings, if they heard what we heard.
The cops at those.
No, I forgot about the incident in the shed, I'm sorry about that.
Mhm. Well, so you can understand, you know, from the board's
Oh, yeah.
perspective, there's some concerns that there's maybe some
Well, there's a lot of
dishonesty.
going on in this world, I understand that,
Yeah.
I'm loud and clear.
Yeah,
And I feel sorry for the kids, you know,
yeah,
I mean, I was a kid too, myself and my oldest brother used to beat me up and broke 3 of my ribs, I know what it feels like to be hurt when you're a kid,
sure.
and I mean, it just.
So
It's
I do, I also agree with them that about the concerns about the dishonesty. But the one thing that I also do look at is you've been on supervision for 10 years. And there's very few people who can make it 10 years without going back, either to jail or prison. So I do have to give you some credit for that. You know, you've done your treatment, you've done really everything that we've asked you to do in the past. And, you know, I mean, you failed to come before us before you moved, but you knew you had to come and you got that approval. So for myself, I would not have a problem approving you to move to this address. But we do need to wait for somebody to make a motion to make a vote. So is there anyone who wants to make a motion?
I'll move to approve address specific.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Okay, so it appears that you were 4-1. So you are approved to reside at the Humboldt Road. But again, you know, if you decide that you have to move from there, you need to come before us
Yes.
before you move again.
I have
okay?
another paper that I have to send. I sent 3 of them in, or somehow I never got the Thorpe. So my PO told me today to fill it out. You're gonna mail it to me, fill it out and give it to her, and she sees that it gets mailed properly.
Thank you.
Okay,
Cause I have a hard time with my reading and writing too.
sure.
Best of luck to you, sir.
All right,
Thank you.
all right, you're good to go. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. very
All right.
much.
Is there any other business that the board, Captain Brester, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. I didn't, Mr. Mattson didn't show up, so I'm good to go then, correct?
Yep,
All right, thank you. Have a nice day.
thanks, you too. Okay, is there any public information that we need to talk about? Any outstanding business? No? Okay. Our next meeting is scheduled for August 16th at 4 o'clock. If we could get a motion to adjourn,
Move to adjourn.
is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Good job, Eddie.
Yay.